All right, hello. We are here at Taste of Washington. My name is Cheri Walters with the wine blog CheriWalters.com. I'm here talking with Brennon from Efeste.
Woohoo!
So, Brennon and I stopped by your winery. It was probably last June that we got to try some wines out of your barrels. And there was something really exciting that you were talking about, which comes down basically that you use natural yeast. You had one barrel that you make with industry, yeast that
commercial yeast.
Yeah, the commercial yeast. And basically we tried those two next to each other, the commercial yeast next to the natural, and it was a world of a difference. Why don't you talk a little bit about that and about your winemaking style?
Well, commercial yeast is used most often in most wineries. There's tons of different brands and styles, and they all do different things, but the main purpose of the yeast and what they're produced for is to complete the reduction of sugar to alcohol in a really efficient way, and also to make wines very forward, to have some sort of fruit personality. Where native yeast or indigenous yeast or whatever you want to call it, I call it feral, are yeasts that there's a lot of them. It's not just one yeast. There's yeast that come from the vineyard. There's yeast that are already in the winery. It's usually like 25 to 30 different yeast, and they all do different things. And because they've mutated and changed, they're not really efficient at making alcohol. So they make a lot of different esters and different googly goops and yumminess, and so the wines tend to be softer. They tend to be more complex. They tend to be I think more interesting. And when we tasted those wines, the big thing, if you remember, was, hey,
I gotta take off.
All right,
see you again.
Thanks.
Bye. I don't know if you heard, I was actually in your winery last weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good
stuff.
All right, thanks. So if you remember,
I love live TV. So live TV, live internet. Very cool.
If you remember, we tasted those wines, and the cool thing about it was, the thing that was so distinctly different was the wine that was commercially used was really fruit forward. The wine that was native tend to be a little bit much more complex, and at the same time, the commercial yeast had a hard edge at it, and almost like a grip on it, a bite. And the native tend to have like a fuller mid palate that's just finished for long and it was really soft.
Right.
And that's the big thing that I always say. That's the take home. Other than that, you can, if you like fruit forward, that's cool. Over this, the more what I consider the more earthy, complex characters, that's fine. But that was the big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference, huge difference, and definitely, if you stop by the winery, ask to check that out because it's fantastic to try those two together. Let's talk a little bit more about your winemaking process. They know that you're really all about letting the fruit and the earth show through with your wine. Talk a little bit more about what that's all about.
Well, to me, the most exciting thing about wine is actually terroir, and the idea that things that grow a certain place, to whether any product, whether it's cherries, whether it's sheep that grow that graze somewhere or whatever, is that they have distinct different tastes or different things that happen than someplace else. And to show that in wine, to me, is the most exciting thing. And so what I try to do is, instead of trying to make the wines taste a certain way, I try to let the wine taste like where it's from. And to me, native fermentation is really important to that. When you pick the fruit is really important, not to pick it too early, not to pick it too late. If you pick it too early, you just get these green characters. If you pick it too late, it's just jam and dried fruit, and they all kind of taste the same that way. And that idea of picking at the right time is the most important thing that I can do, and showing that terroir is the most exciting thing about winemaking to me.
Very cool. So for the people out there that have had very little experience with Washington wine, that might live out of the state, how would you describe the terroir of Washington, and what would you find in the glass of maybe one of your wines?
Well, if we're generalizing about Washington State as a whole, I think the important thing, the one thing that I always characterize Washington wines are, is they're New World wines with Old World character. You know, they have that fruit forwardness that you expect to get out of a New World wine, yet the palate itself is very Old World in the sense that it has the acidity and it has the...
You probably don't remember me. Sam Traff.
No, nice.
Brennon, right?
Yes.
I met you at DeLille and the Cashmere deal, Efeste.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to see you.
One of the most fun guys in the business, as you can see here.
Yeah, well,
we're on TV.
You're on live on the internet right now. Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry to interrupt, but you know.
Yeah, not a
Good.
problem.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see
Thanks
you
for
too.
stopping by.
Yes.
Right.
Hi.
This is Cheri.
I'm Cheri.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
everybody.
Hello. Very good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I forget.
That's the second one.
Second time that's happened, and I haven't seen that at all today.
Really?
Yeah, they're all like, we're just gonna go talk to Brennon. So there it is.
If you're friendly, if you're just friendly and you allow people to be part of your world, you get to have people part of your world, which is why we're doing this, isn't it? Isn't that what wine's about? Is
That's
drinking
it.
with people and enjoying wine and having it all be part of what we're doing.
Right?
That's awesome. That's why I'm in the industry.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And I get
You're
to-
Brennon Leighton, aren't you? Listen, I had your wine, and I gotta tell you, it's a pretty bad wine. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys doing something? I didn't mean to interrupt. Anyway, I just want to tell you, I don't really like your wines. I gotta go. Thank you.
Nice. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah.
Wait,
All right, we were talking
we have to talk about something.
I don't know. Should we talk about? I don't know.
What are we talking about?
We were talking about terroir in Washington State.
Oh yeah. So the thing, the generalized Washington and the whole thing of Old World in a New World kind of is the palate has the acid and the focus that you get out of Old World wines.
Absolutely.
And but you have the fruit forest. I think Washington's the most of both worlds. I really do. I love Washington wines. I mean, that's why I'm here.
Boom. So you can catch Brennon and everybody else at Efeste.com. Definitely check these guys out, making fantastic wine. You have a kangaroo story.
I do.
Yeah, you have a kangaroo story.
I do have a
That's where you
kangaroo
got your label.
The symbol.
Yeah, that's it.
on the thing.
You want to tell
Sure.
folks at home?
So the owners, when they were looking for a name for the winery, they went down to Australia and they hung out with David Powell from Turbrack, and obviously they did a lot of barrel tasting. Which, if you've ever done a lot of barrel tasting, it tends to get a little bit elevated.
Yeah, elevated.
Elevated.
There you go.
And they just got a little too elevated, and they decided to go out to the vineyards. And as they're driving down the road at 100 miles an hour, David Powell goes, "Have you ever chased kangaroos?" And they're like, "What? Have you ever chased kangaroos?" And they're like, "No." And he immediately pulls off the road and starts chasing kangaroos down the middle of the vineyards at like 60 miles an hour. Everyone's just like going, "Oh my God, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die." And that symbol is the symbol that you see out on the roads with the X underneath it for kangaroo crossing. So that's where they got it.
That's very cool. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, should we do the love game kiss off?
Oh my God.
Let's do it. Ready? Ready?
What's up?
And I don't think Brennon's wines are bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Fantastic. All right.